Hey there, and welcome to the podcast Tiling Connect, hosted by Mark Moskwa. This show is designed to connect people with the best information intended to strengthen the business of tiling. To keep up to date with all the episodes, don't forget to subscribe.
Today's episode is brought to you by RLA Polymers and Gripset. For peace of mind when waterproofing, trust Gripset's 38FC, the king of membranes. 38FC has been the industry benchmark for years and is rigorously tested internally and through certified NADA laboratories, giving you verified peace of mind. Developed alongside contractors, 38FC has confirmed coverage of 10 square metres per pale and adheres to AS 4858 and AS 4654 compliance. With a quick 1 hour recode time, you can get the job done in record speed without compromising on quality. Don't fall for the copycat products. Trust Gripset's 38FC, the king of membranes. Hey everybody, Mark here from Tiling Connect. Welcome to the program, and more importantly, welcome to a brand new episode for 2026. We're very fortunate and excited to actually have a brand new guest joining us today. We have Jamie Pride from Tiling with Pride, based in Brisbane, on the show. Jamie, thanks for being here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, mate. Pleasure. Awesome,
man. No, really excited. We sort of really love having contractors on board, particularly Brisbane, my hometown, but more importantly from around the country, because there's so much IP that people can share with the community and help connect, sort of like-minded people and help strengthen the business of tiling, which is I'm sure we'll touch on that throughout today's program and conversation. So I think, mate, the best place for us to start would be to touch on your background. More importantly, what inspired you to become a contractor and start a tiling business, and sort of what's been your most significant learning so far?
So I was actually studying teaching originally out of school. I did 3 semesters of that. It wasn't my thing being at uni, probably coming straight from school. Just wasn't me, couldn't sit still, didn't want to do uni. Did a month of work with a mate when I deferred from uni, who he'll tell everyone he taught me everything I knew in that month, and then started an apprenticeship. Yeah, just seeing that it was something that you have hands-on skills. It's something someone can't take away from you. So yeah, I was pretty keen to get into that, and something when you finish the product, you can step back and be happy with what you work with, and a bit of job satisfaction from it.
Yeah, nice. And is tiling, or being a contractor, I suppose, is it's a trade. Is tiling something that's within your family?
No. Mum's in education, dad's a mechanic. I didn't want to be a mechanic because if you ever work on cars, it's not fun. I'm crawling in through underneath cars and whatnot. But yeah, so tiling was definitely not something that was on the horizon. It's just something that kind of fell into, and really was happy with it.
Nice. And how many years now have you been picking up the trowel, mate?
Started in 2009, so 16 years.
16 years.
Yeah, a little while now. So.
Nice. And you're operating as a sole trader. Do you have employees as well?
No, not a sole trader, as a company.
Sorry, my apology.
Yeah. No, it's all. It's a lot of things. I'm trying to teach younger people about that business structure. It can go a long way, especially tax wise, depending what you want to do with it. We've currently got 5 workers, myself and my wife, who does all the bookworks and all the nitty gritty and fun stuff that most people overlook. And kind of backbone of all the fun stuff you don't want to do. So
you don't touch.
Yeah, that's right. It's credit to her for that. But yeah, we've gone at one stage, I think it was 17 workers. So we've gone from expanded and kind of shrunk back down to a different crew, trying to find what kind of suits and what we like to do. We're really happy with where it's at the moment. Just good group of workers. Great credit to them, because you turn up, you enjoy working with them boys, and makes work a lot easier.
Mate, if I can just touch on that for a second, talking about the number of 17 down to 5, that's obviously a big gap between, what you had to where you are today. What learnings did you have from having a larger crew versus a more, boutique-ish crew, I suppose you could call it, from a numbers perspective?
Yeah. I think a lot of people, growth is the aim, like expansion, which when I was younger, that's what I wanted as well. Finding the works wasn't the issue for us. It was your work-life balance. I never could pick up the trowel and actually tile. Like, it's great for anyone who wants to be on the business side of it. I enjoy tiling. So there was few and far between that I'd actually be tiling. Most of the time you pay works meetings, go and see builders. Like, there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that you're not doing the physical aspect of the business. That I started as a tiler, got into the business side of it, more so than the other way around. So it wasn't for me at that size. It's not to say it's wrong for anyone, but most of your weekends, if you're not backed up with paperwork, it's probably a process thing more than anything. But yeah, it just wasn't me. I didn't want to be tied down where every waking moment was work. You want that ability to be able to switch off, be with family, go and do what you want. So finding the right mix, I think, in that and what suits your personality. So, from where we've gone from growth to shrink, it's, I'd say the margins, not much change on that aspect of it, but just, work-life balance is completely one side. Like, it's a lot better for us mentally, physically, yeah.
Yeah. So it's it would be a little bit like, the larger the crew, the more problems you have. The smaller the crew, there's not as many boxes to tick at the end of every day, and it's manageable so that you can actually switch off. And
I think also, your crew a lot better and get a better dynamic in your team. You're not having to have that schoolyard issue where this bloke doesn't like this bloke or whatever. There's always something going on. A smaller crew with the right people goes a long way. It just creates an environment that you want to be at. So you don't go to work going, don't really want to see this person or that. It's somewhere where you don't mind. You go to work, you have a joke with the boys. So I definitely prefer it on that aspect.
Yeah, nice. Thanks for sharing, man. It's interesting to hear the commentary around people's experiences and there would be a lot of people listening to the podcast going, well, I'm thinking about taking that next step and I want to, employ another 10 blokes. What does that look like? There's always going to be give and take and some sacrifices that you're going to have to make when you jump into a larger company, as you mentioned earlier. And if you're prepared and you're in the right headspace and it's the right time of life for you, perhaps you take that leap. However, I think over time, business experience will teach you that there are moments where you need to pull back, and whether that's be that you
one choice or the other. Like, it's you can put all your eggs into work, but you can't take your money to the grave. You'll miss out on life pushing that through. And I speak to a lot of people who say, like, you can employ people to take this role and this role and this role, but it's also a control dynamic if you want to maintain what your business is as well. So it's very hard. Like, you can employ someone, but they might have, and that's probably on picking the right person for the job as well. They might take something in the wrong direction, which isn't where you'd ideally want it. So it's a tricky situation.
Absolutely. Thanks for sharing, mate. Well, look, let's jump into some more dynamics of tiling with pride. And I would love to know what sets your business apart from your competitors in the tiling industry, and how do you ensure consistent quality for your clients?
I think it's just trying to keep that high quality plus understanding our processes so we keep everything efficient, communication, just what you do. We've done it long enough so we can get in, get the job sorted, there's no fluffing about it. It's we know exactly what we're doing to get the job out on time without compromising quality. You can see a lot of people, especially commercial game, not to knock anyone, but they can punch some meters through, but it doesn't necessarily convert to quality. So I think just finding that right mix, and that comes down to just understanding your products you work with and the materials you use and whatnot.
And what do you find with the difference between the work that you do and the work that is done in commercial? Because you've said just now about, knocking out the meters, right? And I get that. It's about time. It's about the amount of square meters that you can get down, the amount of hours that you've got every given day. Where does the quality fall down, do you think, in some of those jobs? And again, not knocking anybody particularly, but this is just an industry trend, right? This is how it flows. Where do you think the quality falls apart?
I think it's when you've got that many meters ahead of you, you need that many fellas working, punching out that many meters. It's easy to fall back on, is this in the standards? Yeah, it's in the standards, let it go. Where if you tail it back to, most of our work, we're probably 60, 70% to 30, 40% split between builders and private work. So you've got to find that happy medium of quality and job satisfaction plus meeting time constraints as well, where you kind of breach them more. We got into a little bit of commercial and the time frames and whatnot. It just wasn't for us because you don't have the time to sit, also to be on jobs like as if you were on a private job where you can take the time and make sure that you're 100% spot on with that.
I imagine there's also the complexities on commercial jobs of time versus quality in an aspect of, the builder or the contractor or the site manager wants it done at a particular pace and speed, so be able to allow other trades to come in to do their work as well. That's not going to, and that may not necessarily transcend into the type of work that you need to deliver in terms of whether it's mixing the right glues or having, the right amount of guys, on the job to do all of the intricate pieces and things that need to be done. Am I reading that correctly?
Yeah, I'd believe so. Like you can pretty well walk into any high-rise unit when you go away on a holiday, and you'll walk in, you'll see the bathrooms. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Everyone else would. You know the difference between that and someone's bathroom that they've just done a renovation with a good quality tile. It's chalk and cheese. I don't know if that's so much the monetary value or the time. It's I don't know, but there's definitely, they're worlds apart in the finishes. Not to say that they all are, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Mate, I've had plenty of conversations with people on both sides of the fence, and we're singing from the same hymn book, so to speak. Mate, look, that's cool. I would like to know from your perspective as well, like what emerging trends or innovations in tiling are you seeing or believe are shaping the industry, and sort of how do you and your team stay ahead of the developments of what this ever-changing marketplace?
I think here in Australia, we're very much influenced by America. Obviously, like you look at England, Russia as well. There's a lot of stuff going on that it slowly filters in to us. Like America's a major one. You look at Wee and Shootler. I think I don't really know how to say that, but that's starting to order. Yeah, that's it. That's something that they've had for years and years, and it's starting to branch into our market here. Not just on the structural side of it, but the design sides as well. You start seeing a lot more bold pieces. Like it's no longer are we building bathrooms just as a shower and bath, brush your teeth. It's a pseudo day spa. It's people can have a vision and they build these bathrooms that have their own personal touches and something that they want to walk in and enjoy being in that room, not just as functionality.
I can see that happening, and it has been happening for a few years now, where I think people in their own homes are getting quite creative with the types of designs that they want. And to the words that you've just said, that is happening more and more. And so there's a need to obviously diversify in the range and types of products that you use to be able to achieve what customers want ultimately.
Yeah, I think it's great because it creates that personal touch on a bathroom more so than just trying to do. Obviously, someone flipping houses is completely different, but they do a bathroom or a tile their whole floor to what they want now, not so much to what the buyer might buy in 15 years. Or it's very much like that. Some people don't put Ks on their car; they keep it in the garage just for resale. So people are doing renovations to what they want now, and I think it's a lot more intimate touch for what they want to say. And I think we're very much influenced with American trends for that because they do some pretty cool stuff in their tiling industry over there.
Yeah, definitely. I've been to the States a few times, and I've had the benefit and been quite grateful to have visited, quite a number of the shows, including World of Concrete and Surfaces, and spoken to a number of those different companies over there. And it's a different platform over there, how they present things, the discussions that they have, how they're focused on quality versus, many other things. It's a different world. But, again, what's America, 360 million people compared to Australia's tiny 26 million? So it's understandably that they would be more advanced in terms of, the trade and the types of products that they have access to, because companies would set up there or would be in Europe, and America would be probably in their top 3 biggest markets. Where in Australia, unfortunately for us, we are probably at the bottom end of any supplier's marketplace. We're
a blimp on what sales are, but it is it is just interesting. They also seem to treat the trades more so a functional decorative art more so than just another trade to come in and do it. It's if you're a part of any of those forums or any pages on Facebook with it, there's some pretty wild stuff that people can do over there.
Yeah, there's a lot more collaboration. I think, whilst designers are amazing at what they do and putting tile designs together in bathrooms and ensuites and main floors and al fresco areas, the contractor in America is very heavily involved in a lot of that. Compared probably more so than here in Australia. Not to say that we don't have people that do that, but it's a big part of what the American contractors do. And if they're not, being involved in the design process, they're hands-on with a team of people. So
100%. Like even from the frame stage, they're talking through like, this is our tiles, this is where things are going to end. So that way everything lines up and it's spot on. Where over here, not to say that, same thing that not everyone is, but 9 times out of 10, you'll turn up to a bathroom and hey, it's ready to go. This is what it is. And you have to make work from that, not the other way around. But it's, you don't know. It's ever changing. It might go that way. You don't know, to be honest.
No, mate, very well can do. Look, let's hope it does. It's in collaboration amongst trades and customers and clients and developers and architects. I think it's certainly a benefit in getting together and pushing this and everyone being on the same page.
Yeah.
So, mate, tell me about in terms of you and how do you guarantee top quality craftsmanship through each project? From choosing materials to final installation, what's your process?
Materials, we're big on staying with the one supplier of glue. Make sure you've got the right product through the whole thing. Knowing your product and a premium product, not just you see a lot of people will go for what's cheap and what's on sale, what not at the time. Stick to the product. Stick to the products and something that you can be backed by. If you've got a good rapport with them too, that way you can call up tech teams if you ever got questions or something outside the box. Then it comes down to, for keeping our quality, is the right crew again. We've got fantastic crew going from 2 ICs down to the apprentices, like the right people for the right fit, that understand that the quality is the goal. It's that don't cut corners. And that's something that just grows over time, making sure that you keep the right people so that way you have the right product coming out.
Yeah, awesome. What brand are you using at the moment for your adhesives?
Ardex.
Okay. So have you been an Ardex a user for a long time?
Yeah, for quite some time now. I think a lot of the companies have come a long way, especially in the last 5 years or so. Obviously, they've always been there, but I've always just been Ardex, just guarantee I like the products, I like the grout, I like their whole system. I think they've all come a long way, which is great because it just pushes the bar up higher for everyone. So, I think if you're sticking to any of those big brand adhesive companies that know what they're doing, you can't really go wrong.
Absolutely.
And following the right system too. Don't chop and change. Don't use this primer, this waterproof, and then this bloke's career. Like, stick to something from start to finish. Follow the procedures correctly.
Absolutely. And I like that you said that. My part of my career, I worked for a couple of different glue companies. So I held positions for RLA Polymers for many years here at Queensland and Victoria, back over a decade ago. So it's been some time. And I also work for Bostik Australia. So one of the things that we would talk about in our repertoire with contractors was about using the system. And so using the system was one thing, which I think is a good round way of approaching business, because then you know that you've got compatibility from primer right through to grout and everything in between. And then if you have any sort of challenges or problems on a job, you're not then second guessing or third guessing what types of products are in the mix and what may or may not be causing the issue.
What's not working.
Yeah, and that's a big thing, like, because there's 100 plus waterproofing membranes out there. You can't tell me that you're going to know on any given job site what glue is going to stick to that. Well, I've probably got a better idea than most because of my experience. However, there's still going to be that question of doubt going, I'm not sure if this cementitious glue is going to stick to that membrane. What if there's an issue down the track?
And making sure you've got the right products that can stick to something that you'll turn up to. This builder might use this builder might use this and whatnot, not just having, cheap and cheerful once again, because a lot of people will just stick it on and say, no, it should be right, but negligence won't help you when something goes wrong. It's at the end of the day, the onus is on you to make sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And have you ever been faced in a situation in your career where you've had a job go not the greatest?
Yeah, I mean, we've had jobs that we're told popped up. It's a hard one because you can sit there and I'll say it might be this, and it's all a pointing fingers thing. I think the biggest thing is not to get bogged down on who's at fault and work with everyone to get the problem resolved. That's a big thing. Like, talk to everyone, communicate, sort it out, move on with it, use it as a learning curve. So, because there's something where I might say that I don't believe this is me. The next person's going to say this is that. You're all pointing fingers. You can drag it down the line for as long as you want. It's a lot easier and to work together, get it sorted, and you're a team before and get it to that stage. Work as a team, get it sorted, move on with it, water under the bridge. So, I don't think getting bogged down in that is a...
Oh, mate, I completely agree. And I know it's tough from a business owner's perspective because there's always a dollar figure attached to going back and doing a job again, whether it be having to pull walls down in a bathroom or redo a main floor or part of it if something's wrong. And that's painful because it's personal, because it's your business, right? But I think the important thing is to have those relationships with the representatives of the glue companies. And in point in case, I mean, obviously you would have very good relationships with the guys at Ardex and they would know you very well. And, you know, the moment you have a problem, you can pick up the phone and have a discussion and go, you know, look, we've got this problem on site. I need you to come out and check it out. Let's meet together. Let's talk through it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Let's have a look at some resolutions that are going to work well for the client and aren't going to be a burden just for one person.
Yeah, exactly. Rather than just pointing fingers of this is your problem, sort it out, or trying to get bogged down on who is that needs to pick it up, work together, get it sorted. It's the best way, in my opinion. It also, like, you're never going to get through life without any mistakes, but it also teaches you resilience, growth, and innovative things that you can take away to do different next time. So that's how I always see it. If something does pop up, or you've got an issue, just how can it be resolved? Best way scenario. So that way, you know, next time.
Absolutely, mate. We talk about it all the time at the State Emergency Service, where I do some volunteer work, and we discuss in our trainings. We learn more from our mistakes than we do from our successes. So, perfection is an illusion, and making mistakes is part of the game. And clearly, you don't want to make a ton every day of the week. However, every time you do, look back on it. What did we learn? What can we do different next time? How can we, you know, avoid the mistake in the future?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, rather than bog down on what's gone wrong, sit there and say what can be done different next time. That's the way I see it. It's best way to handle situations.
Awesome, mate. Well, let's switch gears a little bit here and talk about marketing and growth and sort of just some different things. Tell me a little bit about what marketing strategies you found most effective in expanding your tiling business, and what methods have you used to attract new clients?
Most honestly, what I think works best for us is the social media aspect, Instagrams, Facebooks, making sure you understand Google SEOs, exposure, like make sure your vehicle's printed, get your name out there. You can't sell a secret. So if people know who you are, it's familiar to them. So that way when they search up the area that you're tiling in, your name is going to pop up. You're like, people need to know who you are. So the social media is not something that I don't think anyone generally wants to do, but it is very important just so your name's out there. So keep consistent with it, grow through it. I'd say most the people on our Instagram are just other tilers, and that's who I seem to follow as well. So it seems to be a trend. So no one wants their whole feed just tiles, but it's it gets your name out there as well. So they're the ones that I'd say work best for us, just getting your name out in the local market.
Yeah, nice. And look, I think we're in a very fortunate part of our lives where we've got social media or digital media to showcase workmanship and particular jobs. And one of those things which is really advantageous to have, where you can go to a client doing a quote and they can ask, what sort of work have you done in the past, or what have you done recently? Can I have a look at it? You can just rip out your phone and in 5 seconds you can show people some of the work you've done.
So handy to be able to show people, or trying to explain to a client who doesn't understand, we're going to miter this, or we can do this herringbone or whatnot, if they don't understand, rather than they'll draw it on a wall or piece of paper. Here's what it is. Here's essentially what this could look like. It's fantastic. You can use it as a tool as well. Like Instagram, for instance, I was putting every photo on that. I was like, geez, this seems like you're flogging a dead horse. And it wasn't until we had a job when usually we'll ask clients, whereabouts at the end, where did you hear from us, just to kind of know and understand what's working and what's not. And I remember the first time, so I was like, I actually found you on Instagram. And I was like, geez, I didn't actually think that would work, but it does. It's just, one of those things. It's, you got to keep at it, keep consistent.
A quick word from our sponsor. Partner with Gripset and become one of Australia's leading waterproofers. Waterproofing is one of the most in-demand trades. With Gripset's accredited practitioner program, GAP, you'll be trained and certified in just 3 days. Backed by Australia's leading waterproofing supplies manufacturer and run by trainers with over 20 years of experience within the industry, GAP gives you a wealth of knowledge. Learn how to identify and prevent dampness and water damage in both residential and commercial structures by exploring the current Australian waterproofing standards, correct preparation of substrates for waterproofing, and how to apply both sheet and liquid membranes with a particular focus on the trickier areas such as joints and penetrations. Upon completion, you will be a fully accredited GAP applicator and will be able to access exclusive benefits and free business advertising to expand your clientele. Spots are filling up fast. Upskill today. Visit gripset.com/gap. That's gripset.com/gap, where great applicators get even better. How do you find work? Like, I suppose most contractors that I know and friends of mine as well, they travel year to year with like a degree of work in their repertoire, and particularly at the end of the year, they'll be booking in jobs for the next year and getting themselves ready to ensure they've got a good couple of months worth of work in front of them. How do you go about ensuring that you've got a good pipeline of work, and what do you do to make sure that that's happening?
Right network. So we've done plenty of different builders, so you've got the right network. If need be, you can call up different supervisors and see what's available. So having that, and that's just something you build over time. On the builder's side of it, private work, word of mouth is honestly probably the best thing. It's the amount of time you get a phone call that, hey, you've done this person's job, would love to get you around for a quote. And it's a lot of people, it's busy, I can't get it in, but still let that person know, even rather than rush the phone call, go around, do the quote, and also communicate, and don't leave someone. Hey, let them know that, hey, we're happy to do a quote, but we have a lead time of 3 months. Like, I'd love to work with you, but just be upfront so they know as well from the get-go that we've got a 3-month lead time, we've got a 6 month, wherever it is. People appreciate that. They can make the call if they want to wait that long and whatnot, but it's also not just, hey, I'm going to send a quote to you. Yep, happy for it. When can you start? 6 months time. It's no one wants to get blindsided like that. So I think just trying to communicate to any leads, even if you can't get there, just explain, hey, we're under the pump at the moment. It might be 3 weeks till I can get there, but I'd love to have a chat. So just customer service, to be honest. That's
interesting point that you raise as well about lead times. And you mentioned 3 months. Have you ever had customers questioning you as to why you've got a 3-month lead time?
Oh,
and if so, what do you tell them?
Not so much. It's just like, if we can't fit in, I'll let them know, like, this is where we're at. Some people don't want to wait that long, which is fine. Don't be afraid to not have that job. It's you don't have to do every job. I know every young bloke gets out, and I was the same. You want to do everything. You don't want to let anyone down, but there's that much work around. You don't have to do everything. You'll just wring yourself right out. So not everything has to be your own. So just make sure you've got what works for you and don't get hung up on what passed up. So I think that's a big thing, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the where I find some things as well as in my past, in my career, and some of the things that I've seen, and some of the people that I've dealt with from a consultancy perspective, I've had clients contact me that have had tiling work done, and I've given them some advice based upon them selecting the right contractor for them to do the work. And we've talked about, having contracts and having things in writing, making sure that everyone's on the same page, have it signed off so that everyone understands the workmanship that's going to happen. And I've also told people to be very careful about 2 things. One is price, and what they're charging for the work that they want to do. Cheap is not always the best. In most cases, cheap is never the best. there's something wrong when someone's presenting to you a price that's about 30% cheaper than another contractor, that straight away is a red flag, and you should really be questioning that and actually looking into the background of the person that you're thinking about giving the job to. And time frame is important as well, because we live in a very modern world where we've got a shortfall of contractors in a variety of trades, tiling included. And if you can find a tiler to do work for you within 3 days, there's, again, some things that you're going to need to inspect to make sure that you actually get what you're paying for, because something doesn't feel right if you're in the game and you're getting a contractor in 3 days to do some work for you.
Yeah, especially like the Christmas time as well, that rush where everyone needs their kitchen splash back done that last week of Christmas, and I need this done. Oh, well, we're going to find someone else. I'm always wary on the people that you can pull out that last week. Sometimes things happen, jobs get pushed back and people can fit them in. But it's, if someone doesn't have a lead time, it's usually a bit of a red flag.
Yes.
I think the price point as well is also understanding not so much that the cheapest price, but making sure you're comparing apples to apples. See what glues this guy's using to the next guy. See what your inclusions are. See what waste you're getting. Are you getting these? Like, is there bedding? Is waterproofing silicone? Making sure that what you're getting from quote A to quote B is on the same page, because you hear time and time again, well, they quoted this, but then now they've whacked this on, now they've whacked this on, now they've whacked this on. It's just making sure that they understand that what you've got from both sides are on an equal playing field.
Yeah. And that's a really incredible point that you raised. And I should ask, when you're quoting, do you itemize all of those particular things in your quotes? So seating, priming.
I don't itemize as in price-wise. I don't itemize because people go, I'm going to find this glue from Melbourne for $2 a cheaper a bag. I'm like, I can't really get your bags from Melbourne. It's so I don't itemize per price, but I will do a breakdown of exactly what we have, what our glue suppliers are, what your inclusions are, just so you understand start to finish, like, this is what we're going to do here. This is a process. It's so there's a clear understanding of what the product is that we're doing.
Yeah, it makes sense. Perfect sense. I get that. Awesome. Yeah. Well, mate, let's talk a little bit about problem solving. Obviously you would have faced some pretty big challenges in your business so far as a contractor. I mean, you've touched on it already about collaboration. Beyond collaboration with other people, are there other tricks and tips that you've learned over the time about how to best tackle challenges with any job to get the best result?
I think communication comes back to, and it's not even from a finished product and client base. It can be in your team as well, like making sure you talked about it to each other, or just, this is what I want to produce. This is our time frame. Just and that goes to your clients as well. Like, this is where we're looking at doing our time frames, just so everyone's all on the same page. I find people will get most hung up when they don't understand what's happening. So if there's a clear set guidelines of, hey, this is the job, this is the time frame, whatnot, this is how it is, everyone's happy. If there is any issues or anything arise, bring it up and say, hey, like, we've had an issue here. This is what's going on. This is how it's going to be resolved. It's going to have this sort of effect on it. Might be a day or two, whatever it is. But if people understand and they're kept in the loop, I find that's the best way to keep challenges at bay, to be honest. It's, there's in that aspect of problems arise and then trying to keep everyone happy.
Yeah. Best way to look at it, mate. I think, keep the surprises, at a minimum, and make sure that everyone's on the same page at all times from start, middle, and finish.
Yeah, keep your processes right. So everyone knows the right way. This is how we do it. This is the finishes we want. That way your product is essentially exactly the same per house. You know what, we've got a crew of the 6 of us, but it doesn't really matter who's going in and out. The product, this bathroom is going to look the same. This is how this niche is going to be done. So that way it's not differing from between, like, hey, how come this is done like this, but then this one's done like this? So try and keep consistency.
Perfect, mate. Excellent. Obviously, as well, you probably had some demanding clients during your career, and some projects may have not have gone according to plan. How do you overcome, challenging clients, and in particular, people that have incredibly high demands of what they expect?
Understand your products, and think the other thing is probably, before you get to the issue with demanding clients, is be happy to say no to jobs and pass them up. A lot of people I see, especially young blokes getting out there, they'll say yes to absolutely everything, and it's stuff that you don't want to put your hands in that pie. But then when something goes belly up, and you always hope that it doesn't, but when it does, you've got the anxiety of, oh, this client's calling now, I've got to go and sort this out, and so be happy to just pass up, say, no, this isn't the right fit for us. Best of luck with it. Let someone else do it. And sometimes people are just never going to be happy if it's not on quality or price or what. Just trying to read the room. If you've got that gut feeling, it's probably better to let that one go to the goalie.
Perfect, mate. You said it very poetically. I have nothing to add. Sometimes saying no is the best medicine. And it's in a very, very astute, professional, authentic manner. And it's one of the things that I've been teaching the staff that I've been working with over the last 4 or 5 months at the business that I'm in, because a lot of the people that I've been surrounded with are all in they're in that 20 age bracket where, I'm obviously considered a senior. I won't mention my age on show, but people know how I am. Of course, I have the Polish blood, so I don't look my age. However, I've been teaching a lot of the 20+ something year olds about sometimes you've just got to say no, and it's not about the word, it's not. But it's how you frame it, and it's how you present it to the client. So there has to be a conversation around it for them to understand that it's a no, not just a flat out no. No, you don't have to be arrogant. But no, and you can't be. You have to set boundaries, and the important thing is you can't be everything to everybody. Like, you have a skill set and what you can do. Don't overpromise and underdeliver. It's a massive thing, and for anybody that's starting out as a in a new business as a contractor, if anything, when you're listening to this podcast, take some notes, because a lot of the tolling contractors that we've had on in the past and today, including yourself, are saying that there's a lot of similarities in the things that they're talking about from the experiences that they've had in running these businesses. So there's some excellent intel there to help you run a successful business. No, and awesome, mate. Look, one of the questions we love to talk about on the program is profitability. And it's one of the probably least talked about conversations that I encounter with people. However, it's the most important thing when it comes to running a company or being a sole trader or being a part of an organization, and ensuring that your profitability is optimal so that you're running a very effective business and, cash flow is good, all of the things that go into making a business. How do you ensure, optimal profitability is achieved on every job, and what's your benchmark for that?
Mostly just understanding your products and your prices. Like, it's no good if you go out buying the top premium products, but you've got no buying power to go use on a spec home where you're not making the money on it. You need to have that relationship and that chat with your adhesive suppliers and say, like, this is work out what works for you and crunch the numbers. Sit there and say that, okay, I'm using this many bags per house, per 100 meters, whatnot. this is it. This is the time frame that generally I sit there and work out where your average job is going to sit and take you to versus your costs as well. And not just your direct costs, also your fuel for your fellas, your work cover, your insurances. You need to sit down and understand what they're going to cost you over the year, break it down and make sure that jobs are sitting in the green. Not every job's going to be, and I understand that. There's going to be jobs that, hey, this is going to go backward, and it might not be directly like in the red, but if you spend 3 weeks on a job that you're breaking even, you've gone backwards because you could have had another 2 weeks on another job making profit. So understanding that if you are not making money off a job, you need to be compensated in some way. If that's not like, hey, I might be doing this, but there is also a funnel of 20 other jobs behind it that I am making money on. So make sure that you're aware of your ins and outs. If it's not job flow, it's also your financials as well. Don't overspend either. Tools is a big one. People love buying brand new tools, but make sure it's efficient for your business, not just, hey, I'm going to go buy this brand new thing, use it once, and it's going to sit in the shed. So not just spending money for the sake of money, and having a good accountant, that always helps. Yeah. So that's big relationship that I'd always tell people, make sure you got the right accountant as well.
Mate, is there any tricks to finding the right accountant or a great accountant?
Probably just we started off with an accountant. It wasn't horrible, wasn't bad, but it just wasn't the right fit for us. We weren't getting any information from them. It just wasn't helpful at all. All you're doing is paying bills that seem to come in for nothing, no returns, and nothing that really, whenever I'd had a question to say, hey, what would be the best way in this and this scenario? Oh, it's whatever you want to do for the business, you do, and we'll work around that. I'm like, no, well, I want to know the implications and liabilities. So we parted ways. We went with a new fella, which we've now been for probably 10 years. I don't know, for a long time now, big firm now, but they're fantastic for us because we've got that rapport. We understand. We can talk about, hey, this is where we're heading. This is our plan. Yeah, with the pros and cons of it. So, but it's also like our accountant's not going to fit a sole trader who's just pushing out like one bathroom each week because the fees would not be practical. It's got to be something that works to what your business is. So, I think just searching word of mouth, once again, in every industry, making sure that you talk to like-minded businesses to see what works for them and who they use.
Yeah, networking is really important in anything you do in life, but particularly when you're running a company and, ensuring you're rubbing shoulders with the right people, whether it be, other tiling contractors that are in a similar size business to yours or other trades. So, yeah, really important to continue having really, really good communication and building a network of people around you that can, I suppose, as well, lift you up and provide you some advice when you need it.
Yeah, I think, you're a product of the people you hang around. So making sure you're in that right circle, that they're happy for your wins and they can help do the right support when you need it.
Yep. Be a cheer squad, mate. Give you high fives when you need it, and then give you honest truths when you need it as well.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
Well, mate, look, you've shared some great stuff today. I really appreciate it. As we sort of get to the back end of the episode today, I do want to ask, looking back on everything you've achieved so far in the trade and in the company as well, what's one thing that you would tell your 18-year-old self to ensure that they're well informed before they go and pick up their trowel?
Probably get into concrete with the grey gold. So, no. No. Probably, I wouldn't say there's many lessons that I'd want to tell myself because I feel like the journey is who you become now. So you kind of need it. So there's no point in making something easier for yourself back then because it shapes who you are and what you learn. So there's not many things that I'd want to say change. Like I've always been a big believer, like bite off more than you can chew and then chew a lot. Sorry, I don't know. This kid say it. So pull myself up there. Yeah, so keep at it, back yourself, and do what you do.
Awesome, mate. And look, I will say one thing to people out there is don't be afraid to make mistakes.
Yeah, it's your best lessons, to be honest.
Yeah, it's a quintessential way of becoming better, greater, bigger, faster, stronger.
Yeah,
nice, mate.
It's all part of the process, to be honest. It is.
Absolutely. Well, look, before we wrap up, mate, what's the future vision for your business? What's happening? How do you see the tile industry heading in the next 5 years? What's your insights?
I think we'll just stay true to what we're doing now. The right mix between builders and private work, so we get that job satisfaction, also that variety of work. I like that change where each job's something different. So just making sure we're on top of that. I'm pretty keen for the next 5 years, just in the kind of creative side that everyone's trying to take with bathroom, not just bathrooms, like your tiled furniture, seats, benches, everything seems to be something new coming out. So I think it's going to be pretty good. It's making sure the product's right and that something visually satisfying more so than just functional nowadays.
One of the big things that I love about what you've just said, miters, mate. Loving the spotlight on miters. I know they're a pain in the ass. I really do. But if you're getting paid the money to do it, and with some of the workmanship that guys are pumping out at the moment and the techniques they're using, mate, it's why would you not do it? Like, why would you not have miters in your bathroom? Yeah,
they look great. It's I understand from a builder's perspective where they're trying to cut the fat from it, but on a private side as well, like it's they've definitely got the right place in the industry as well. Depends what you want to do with the bathroom, but it's amazing how far it's come in the last 5 years.
Well, Jamie, if people want to connect in with you post listening to this show and the episode, what's the best way for them to get in touch with you, buddy?
Probably Instagram or Facebook. Our numbers are all in our logos. We've got the usual social media, TikToks, whatnot. But just reach out to us. That all comes through to us, and we can get onto it and Tile with Pride and give us a search, get in contact.
Excellent, mate. Well, we will definitely make sure that all of those details are put into the show notes. I personally want to thank you so much for sharing as much as what you have today and for making the time to come on to Tiling Connect. It's been really awesome. And until next time, mate, stay connected and have an excellent 2026.
Yeah, looking forward to it. Thanks for having me, mate. It's been a pleasure.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Tiling Connect. Don't forget to rate and review this podcast. To see more of Tiling Connect, jump on our socials and follow us via LinkedIn, Instagram and Facebook. If you'd like to be part of the show, email us at tilingconnect@gmail.com. Until next time, stay connected.